Hello everyone, what's up? My name is Nate. Sorry, I had to change my camera over here so y'all could see my face. What's up, everybody? My name is Nate. Welcome to the Loud Costa Talks mini episode review at the moment. But we want to start off with some breaking news that you already heard from Twitter, from pretty much everywhere. That we have some news that talks about the Casagrandes, and that is the fact that they are canceled now. So the Casagrandes is now canceled after 3 seasons, which is pretty shocking for all of us. Me, Omid, most definitely. But to say the least, it was really shocking to hear before we went live to hear the fact that this is actually going to be finished. We're not gonna go fully into this breaking news as of yet because we're gonna set up a brand new Loud Casa Talks episode about this. But Omid, when you heard about this shocking news today, what came to your mind when I gave you the news and all?
Why is life so unfair? Why? Oh my god! When I heard, I remember going to my phone during lunch break. I saw the break, an article saying, you know, uh, Casagrandes is canceled, and I actually thought that it was clickbait. I thought it was a rumor, but then when I searched up Twitter, I was like, wait, this is legitimate? No, it can't be.
Mm-hmm.
No, no. It's just why? What just why do
So,
this, Nickelodeon?
so it was
Huh?
confirmed. It was confirmed by a source, Axios, which is a good news article. They didn't really state a reason why they got canceled. But the other thing too is the fact that even Isabella Alvarez did put a tweet out saying, thank you, saying thank you for being fans and stuff. So it just kind of tells you confirmation is confirmed that the Casa Grandes is going to get canceled, which is unfortunate because look, if I can say this right now, we're only gonna, like I said, we're only gonna spend 5 minutes on this, but the thing, at least, the Casagrandes are going in the right direction right now. Getting secondary characters their own episodes, getting like so much. I don't know. The vibe over at the Casagrandes is so much different compared to the Loud House that it's just a breath of fresh air watching a new Casagrandes episode. But now that it's canceled, and they're gonna come back to the Loud House, by the way. So they're not gone. The Casagrandes is going back to the Loud House. It's just that it's gonna be different because like the Loud House the episodes, if they're gonna have future seasons, is gonna have both Louds and Casagrandes, and it's gonna be very confusing. So it's like we're gonna have the same formula like what we happened in season 4, for example, where we have the episodes featuring the Casagrandes, and it's just gonna get so confusing. It's not it's not fair, but just a lot to process right now. We'll break it down when we have that future Loud Castle Talks episode soon. But yeah, it's not fair. It doesn't feel like it's the right move that Nickelodeon did.
Exactly, and especially considering the fact that Casagrandes has won awards before, so Casagrandes is very successful. It's not like it was a failure or anything. No, it actually was very, very successful. So it sort of boggles my mind, like why Nickelodeon would actually do this, why they would cancel Casagrandes. Is it because, oh, I don't know, it's not a SpongeBob episode, so it doesn't make any money? Like, no, get that out of here.
Here's the other thing too: SpongeBob is having 4 more movies. They're really putting a lot on SpongeBob. And look, I don't know about the other like franchises. All I know is that Paramount Plus did announce the fact that they're gonna have new SpongeBob movies. Other franchises are also having new things like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is having a new movie. Dora the Explorer is also having another movie as well. So it's like, okay, so you're still not knowing the fact that the Loud House is still an amazing show. Like it's still an amazing show for 6 seasons long, and Nickelodeon is just like keeping it under the rug pretty much. What the heck? Like give it its recognition. SpongeBob is not the future of Nickelodeon, guys. You can't just continue to have it, but it's just they're just pushing the fact that Nickelodeon is just going to continue on with SpongeBob.
Yeah, they might as well call it Spongelodian.
Mm.
Spongelodian.
I don't know how to like get happy because the thing is like when I first heard it, I'm like, how the hell am I going to deal with this? I know I got to make like a big speech about like what we're gonna do next. I don't know what is gonna happen, but it's just hard. We're still gonna be a Loud House fan page of Loud House now again, but we're
Yeah.
gonna probably erase the Casagrandes now because that's
Yeah. What
canceled.
what what are we gonna talk? We're gonna be called, oh, I don't know, Loud House Talks now.
There's no Loud House talks, I guess. There's no Loud Casa talks, so it's like,
No, we can
uh,
still be Loud Casa Talks to sort of like keep the more keep the unique title.
I
You know
guess,
what I
but
mean?
the thing is, like, the emphasis is gonna be on the Casagrandes. Here, the emphasis is gonna be on the Louds. But here's the other thing too. What about the other characters at the Casagrandes? What are we gonna do with them? Are they gonna be in the Loud House too? Like, can we see Nikki? Can we see Samir, Casey, Laird,
Sid, Sid,
Sid?
Sid, Sid.
Yeah. I
Like
swear to
honestly,
God,
have
like,
the Shanks versus Royal Woods and have Sid hook up with Clyde, and then they boom slide. There you go.
but see, it just tells you like what's gonna happen to those secondary characters, like the people in the Mercado or the people in the apartment complex. Are we not gonna have any more episodes of those because they had episodes that were actually good, and now they're gone. Casagrandes, I think Nickelodeon did pull a bad move with pulling Casagrandes after 3 seasons. If
Really
anything,
bad.
put in another season and then end it. Maybe end it in a good way, not like have them move to the Loud House. I don't know. This is just there's a lot to process, but like I said,
There's so
we'll
much
have
they haven't done. There's so much they haven't uncovered yet. You know.
right, which like I said, we'll have a future Loud Casa Talks episode. We'll have that soon, and like I said, we will update you guys when we'll have that Loud Casa Talks episode. But yeah, just breaking news from all of social media. Casagrandes is canceled after 3 seasons. So this next season, this season that we're watching right now will be its last, and it's
more
sad.
like heartbreaking news. Like, yeah, it's definitely breaking news. All right, it is breaking in more ways than one.
Most definitely. Right. So let's go ahead and get ready for our episode reviews. So go ahead, we'll put the countdown on, and we'll see you guys in a bit. Everyone, welcome to an all new episode of the Loud Casa Talks episode reviews. My name is Nate, alongside is my good friend Omid.
Hey, what's up, Loud Crowded Casa crew? How are you all doing tonight?
Besides the whole sad news that we've gotten, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. We're coping. We're just gonna have a happy episode review where we talk about the new episodes of the Loud Casagrandes. Okay? Yeah, I know it's shocking. Everyone is shocked. I understand that this brand news happened, but like I said before, we are not gonna break it down every dang time right now. Right? We need to have an episode where we need to actually really fully break it down. What happens next for the Casagrandes and everything, but. No matter what, let's actually head straight to it. But the thing is, like, I know that last week we are supposed to have a Loud Casa Talks episode review, but we decided not to do it because we were already busy with the fact that we have a vacation coming up on that weekend as well. So Omid, I know you. How's your week been so far since we went to Vegas last weekend?
Man, can we go back to Vegas, please? Can we go back to Vegas, please?
I think
that's all I gotta say.
Okay, yeah. I mean, a vacation like that was fun, going to Vegas and all. But to be fair, I kind of miss home, so it's like, yeah. I mean, cool. Vegas is awesome, but then needed to go back home just because it's like, my R&R is also always gonna be here.
Understandable.
But here's the thing, Super Bowl champions. Omid, you ended up winning it all. You want to go for Rams, and you won.
Yeah,
so yeah,
baby.
Omid was happy. I wasn't. How are your feelings with the Rams winning, Omid?
Rams win, baby! Woo! And not only that, but I won me some moolah. Ooh, money.
So
I had me some bets, and so what happened was that I bet 180 on the game and also props, some Super Bowl prop bets, and I ended up winning about like 234 bucks. So $54 extra, baby. Woo!
Nice. What did you end up like spending your money on?
On the good beef Wellington. It's not raw steak.
It's good. It's good that you bought your own. It's good you bought your own Hell's Kitchen, because we did go to Hell's Kitchen literally after the Super Bowl Sunday. So to say the least, you ended up winning your money and you ended up getting a good meal out of it. hence when you went
Yes.
to Hell's Kitchen itself. So it's awesome, which is great. Which, by the way, great food. By the way, great food over there. And I swear to God, if we can ever go back again, I'll make it like a once a year thing. But if we go back to that, oh, I'm down for another piece. Not for beef Wellington, but maybe something else.
That'd be awesome.
And the other thing too is that I picked Bengals, which just continued on my record of bad picks in the Super Bowl. My record right now is 7-14. Yes, I picked correctly 7, and I picked wrongly 14 times. So it's like I don't know what, but I never have a streak when it comes to winning Super Bowls. I ended up like going with the last win I got was the Bucks last year. Yeah, congrats to the Bucks last year. I ended up getting a win for that. And I thought that streak was gonna continue on, but instead, nope. It fell down the drain again because of the whole
Oh my
Bengals
God.
loss. I don't know. I just feel like my picks are always going to be like leaning towards the losing side for some reason. So I don't know who's going to be in the Super Bowl next year, but if my pick is lose, if it's going to be the Niners, I hope that actually breaks the curse. But yeah, and also the other thing too is that I have a brand new job. I just started today. I started this week. Things have been going so well so far, so can't wait to see if I will keep this job. But yeah, everything looks fine with that.
Congrats,
All right,
man.
thank you. All right, let's head over to our episode reviews because this is what it's all about with the episode reviews. Let's start it off with the episode that aired. The episodes that aired on January 21st. It all starts with the bros in the band. In synopsis here, Bobby dreams of playing in a band might finally come true, but can he handle Par's punk pals? Okay, so first off, we start this episode with Bobby singing in the Mercado, where it delights everyone that comes in, especially Par, because he was impressed. So he was so impressed actually that he wanted Bobby to be the lead singer of his band. Explain your thoughts here on this part where Bobby wanted to be wanted to be a part of a band.
Now, okay, who'd have thought Bobby would have such a voice? Like, oh my God, like it is just, it's honestly like the Asher Bishop's Lincoln of the Casagrandes. It is just that beautiful. And of course, this is the first time we've heard him sing too. You remember the Mia Moore song from Face the Music with the Casagrandes? Oh my God, just so heavenly, so angelic. Like, if I were Par, I would want him to join my band too, BFF or not.
My thing is that it's awesome to actually hear Bobby sing, but then again, we've heard him sing before. Yeah, Amor from that one episode in the Casagrandes.
Face the Music.
But Face the Music, yeah. But then they also did sing that one song in the Christmas episode as well. And
That
the
one
other
too.
thing too.
That one too.
And the
yeah.
other thing too is part of Big Time Rush that even the voice actors from Big Time Rush. So you kind of feel like, yeah, eventually Bobby needs to actually break out of his shell and actually sing, and he starts singing it here, which is like, yeah, this is totally what Bobby does.
Oh God, imagine an American Idol or imagine American Idol sort of episode where you got Bobby and Luna competing for to win the medal, like to win the prize for best singer. That would be quite an episode.
That would be quite an episode. Actually, did they do that before? I mean, wasn't that really loud music? Technically,
it was technically really loud music, but then it was about like what if Luna Loud actually won, and then it worked too well.
I mean, it kind of felt like that was going to be the singing competition that they were going to go after, but nonetheless, I mean, it'd be cool to actually have an episode like that. Did you imagine thinking Bobby wanted to be part of a band? Because the thing is, like, I hear him sing a lot, but to be part of a band, I didn't know that he would love to be a part of one. That's a new dream that I never heard of.
Yeah, no, I think deep down he wanted to, especially when Par is involved with the band, especially when Par's in charge of the band. Like Bobby already is a fan of being in a band, of course, but then adding Par on top of that makes him even more enthusiastic to be part of the band. Though he doesn't outright show it because he tries to keep his passion for the Mercado mainly. I think we know deep down that Bobby wanted to be involved as a sort of band one way or another.
He wanted to be a part of a band, and it kind of does show it there. Nonetheless, I mean, like, yeah, he's a great singer. If he was a part of a band, I think it would actually be like really good for him, like future wise, if he actually did sing in a band to say so. I imagine like him with his singing, I think he could actually work out in a band, but maybe like in a boy band, but a band also works too. So yeah, Bobby would head into Par's rehearsal place, which will be a record store owned by Ziggy. It is there where we get to see Par's bandmates. And well, they weren't really the type of bandmates Bobby would associate with. First off, they were punk rockers, and they don't really have a nice attitude, especially with Bobby being all cutesy, offering foods, and even saying "Boo Boo Bear" to Lori and all. So, what were your thoughts on these bandmates that Bobby were going to partner with? Also, do you think this would have been a good time for Bobby to just like leave the band, because this definitely wasn't for him?
Oh my god, let me tell you, these guys, they are such judgmental jerks. Like, they're so judgmental. Like, seriously, they're probably teasing him for having a girlfriend because they're jealous they can't even get one. Oh. Also, what a coincidence. I was just talking about Bobby's Myanmar song, and now he brings the song back. God, I love this guy. This guy is awesome. Like, seriously, screw those punk rockers, man. Like, honestly, like while Bobby grows up to become a Mercado businessman, I bet you these two punk rockers, like these two guys, they're probably gonna grow up to be basement dwellers who will just like complain on the internet about this one seagull scene in Star Wars.
Oh my god, no, don't make it be like that. But yeah, they are very judgmental people. I mean, the thing is, like, they I don't know. I think it's just an attitude for punk rockers to be all jerky and stuff like that. I mean, the fact that they judge Bobby already from like the looks, for example. Why are you wearing an apron? Oh, why do they call you Boo Boo Bear? And they just become bullies to Bobby. And I'm like, Bobby, why would you want to be a part of this band? Why don't you just go for like a different band? You can just be like, I was gonna say, bail out of the band and then go somewhere else. I'm sorry, Par, but your bandmates are terrible. You should just
Hey,
like went
Bobby,
straight from that.
Bobby, I have a suggestion. Moon goats.
Oh,
Join Moon
no,
Goats. Let's
no.
go.
Let Luna and Sam rock with that. Okay, let Bobby find his own band somewhere, a better band. Maybe Hector could give him a good mariachi band that Bobby could go into. I don't know. I mean, the
Then
future's
again,
bright
he
for
needs to find people his own age. Like,
people who likes the same music as Bobby, for example.
true. True that.
So yeah, I mean, this would have been a good time for Bobby to actually bail out of that band, but nonetheless, he it's weird because he still wants to be a part of the band. So what does he do? So he actually would hit up Ronnie and CJ and Carlota, and they would do all sorts of things to change his image, from changing his fashion style to his hair and a whole lot more. So did you think that it was a little extreme to have Bobby go through this in order to be a part of a band, especially a band that doesn't like him that much?
It is a little extreme, but then again, this is where Bobby shows his insecurities after all. Trust me, we all have one. And of course, this shows how much he really treasures his friendship with Par. Like how he's even willing to go above and beyond, like pretty much going up to a point where he wants to be friends with Par's friends. And pretty much like Bobby wants to pretty much expand upon the friendship and the way to expand the friendship is to pretty much bring not just Par but also Par's friends in Bobby's circle. So of course he manages to do this by pretty much behaving differently, like behaving the way that these punk rockers see as cool or something like that, but they don't really know what cool is, even if a dictionary slap in the face, but whatever. Like, I'd like to see Bobby, Par, and the Punk Rockers be a legit squad. Like how Lincoln and Ronnie Ann have their own squads, but that all depends if he can manage to impress them.
Hold on for a second. Yeah, I felt like, with Bobby like ripping up his shirt, getting his hair all messed up with ketchup, actually, which is interesting. I didn't know it actually become colored. And even having a bad attitude, even like, shredding up a guitar and all. I mean, this is not Bobby's image. But I didn't expect Bobby to be so dedicated to those bandmates. Is it just because he wants to be loyal to Par, or does he really was he that desperate to be in a band that he wants to go with these bandmates? It's just really confusing for me to actually see why Bobby needed to change his attitude, but I felt like it's just because he wanted to be in the band is the reason why he wanted to, do that. Change his image and all that jazz.
But I think that's the sort of theory that I have is, like I said, it's not just him wanting to be part of a band, but also him wanting to be part of the squad as well, if you know what I mean.
Right. And I
That's
get
just my
it.
theory.
I get it, but then the other thing too is like there are other bands you could also join, not this band. I mean, whatever. I mean, he still wanted to join it and want to be a punk rocker, so heck, he even tried to change his image. So there you go, and it still worked out in the end. He still ended up actually being a part of the band, which is good.
I'm
So
surprised. If I were Bobby, I would have asked them, "Hey, how's your mom's basement?"
oh my god. Now that will be another story that they could bring up in the Casagrandes if they ever put that up. Um Now with this new image, Bobby would go back to Par's bandmates and they were impressed with the makeover, but also made everyone confused with the new Bobby. I mean, even in the Mercado, he tries to have both images in play, where he tries to help the customers out and also be mean to them when his bandmates are with him. This led to Hector actually taking him off duty for the day due to him having this new attitude, which led Bobby having like an identity crisis here. Explain your thoughts on Bobby's predicament.
Okay, I really love how Bobby tries to be cool for Par's friends while at the same time helping others in the Mercado. Seeing him go back and forth like that, let me tell you, it is pretty fun to watch. Like the way he goes double agent from Punk Bobby to Bobby to Punk Bobby to Bobby. Like oh my god, it's like he's living two separate lives. He's trying to live two separate lives, and let me tell you, like it is, it's pretty much harder to handle when you're trying to live like two personalities at the same time. And of course,
Uh,
I don't blame Hector for getting mad that like Bobby's reacting this way. It's like you bobo, why you acting
oh,
like a
you bobo!
bobo?
Oh, you bobo! Why are you being one of these bobos? Why don't you go out? Yeah, I felt like Hector kind of like got the last straw of it all. I mean, like, yeah, Bobby's continued to act so terribly to his abuelo that obviously his abuelo was going to get angry at him. So in the end, it still ended out being worse for Bobby when he actually started to be all angry, bad attitude towards everybody in the Mercado. So it made sense for Hector to be all like that. But the other thing too is like, dude, but this is Bobby. This is Bobby. Bobby can never become mean or anything like that. And yet he still ended up trying to act like this. And I'm like, Bobby, please don't be like this.
Don't be a
We know,
bobo.
don't be a
Don't be a
bobo. We all
bobo.
know and love you like like Bobby, like Bobby being Bobby. And we can't just have you be a punk rock Bobby and start actually acting all bad. So yeah, it makes sense when Hector actually like pull all the stuff, all of his like duties aside. Then it makes sense for Bobby to actually like say, "Hey, I think we have a identity crisis that he has." It's like you can't just be a punk rocker; you still have to be the nice Bobby that we all know and love. But
Exactly.
that's the thing that's a conundrum that Bobby ended up having in this episode. It's like, should I just continue to be a punk rocker for these bandmates, or should I really be the nice person that I've always been in the Mercado and all? But yeah. So Bobby would face the band again, only to turn down the offer of joining since it isn't the right image for him. It is here where he meets up with Ziggy and he would perform with him. Ziggy was impressed with his performance that he would get let Bobby open for him, and it's here where we get to see Bobby perform with the Great Lake City community and be a hit. It is also here where the punk bandmates wanted to perform with Bobby, and he would agree. This led to an ending where all of them would perform together like a band. What were your thoughts on this final scenes here, this episode?
While I felt Bobby forgave them a bit too quickly, in my opinion, um, then again, I'd like, well, it is Bobby, so it makes sense, So whatever.
Oh yeah,
Plus,
the whole
let me tell
whatever
you,
thing.
let me tell you, like this is not the worst case of bullying in the Casagrandes I've seen. No, not by a long shot. They were simply teasing him for being Bobby, so I give it a pass, I guess. I don't know, but
See now you're confused as I am because it's like it's weird because like yeah, Bobby would end up rocking with Ziggy, and then the bandmates are kind of saying like, oh man, we made a mistake on Bobby. Can we be part of your band? And then Bobby just says yes, and then everybody all rocked out together. So I believe it's like Bobby being very forgiving in this episode, but at the same time, I guess happy ending. Is that what we're really gonna go for, the happy ending here?
yeah, but whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, I'm just gonna act like Bobby now. Now, do you think we'll see this band again?
Honestly, I want to see this group not just as a band, but also as a legitimate squad of friends. Bobby and Parr having their own group of friends would be a blessing especially since these punks have finally changed their attitudes about Bobby.
I feel like this band group is going to be, cool and all, but here's the thing, like, I'll see a lot more Par, yes. I don't know if I'm gonna see this band again. It just feels like this is just a one shot for them. Are we gonna see these two come back, Devin and Enrique? Are they gonna come back? I don't know. It'd be cool if we actually had continuity with these group of bandmates, but I can totally see like Par and Bobby like group together to make like another band, maybe have different bandmates. But nonetheless, it was cool to actually see Bobby be in a punk rock band, but actually change into a different band to say, I can't see them actually having another episode of the Casagrandes. I don't know.
I don't know. Like we'll have to see, right?
Yeah, we'll wait and see. We have only this season to continue on with the Casagrandes. All right. Last but not least, there is actually an extra that actually happened from this episode. There was a music video that actually did drop for Bobby's new song called We Jam Contigo. And this video pretty much sums up the episode. Like, it literally is the episode. Pretty much had the bandmates and Bobby pretty much all rocking out together, like having a rock out battle. But it mostly deals with those punk rockers with the style of music. What were your thoughts on this short that was dropped, like literally after the episode aired?
Let me tell you, like it was actually quite catchy. It was also really colorful, really fun to watch, and yeah, we jammed Contigo. It was oh my god, look at that Bobby! Look at Bobby singing right there. Has the spotlights shined on him. Oh my god, like he has a future ahead of him as a singer. Like yeah.
I felt that the music video was actually pretty fun. But the other thing too that I also wanted to emphasize was the fact that, like, you know, it was pretty much the bros in the band, literally having Bobby pretty much face off with those bandmates, saying like, "Hey, I can also rock out too," unlike you guys who continue to become punk rockers that are not the same like music that I have. So I mean, look, the music video was actually pretty fire. I actually like it. For only 5 minutes, we were able to see Bobby just have a music video for himself singing a song. We haven't had a music video since Do the Fruit Shake. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a big fresher. It's a big refresher. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot. Casagrandes can also bring out shorts. And heck, we have an amazing short here with the music video of We Jeff Continue with Bobby. Who's next to sing? I don't know.
Sid Chang performing her K-pop dance.
Oh my god, please. Well, you already had it with Alicia. Remember,
No, but
I'm
just
back.
Sid herself. Just
Hmm,
Ronnie and Sid themselves just performing with
maybe
Yoon Kwan. That's really about it.
that would be a good ender for the Casagrandes.
I know.
If they actually had it. I don't know. I mean,
Again, Nickelodeon, how dare you?
I swear to God, like see, now it just makes us think about like what's gonna happen next with the Casagrandes, even though we only have one more season left. This day was just interesting enough. All right.
Yeah.
What else do you want to bring up from this episode?
Um, like I said before, I really dig Punk Bobby's new look. I just didn't dig the way that he puts on this fake persona to pretty much impress these two bulbos that he doesn't even know that well. But I will definitely say this though, for a Bobby episode, it's pretty damn fun. And also, you do really feel for Bobby how he really wants to join this new band, but then unfortunately, a couple of Par's bandmates turn out to be, like I said, judgmental jerks. Honestly, what I'm surprised about, it kind of just hurts me how there isn't a scene where Par calls them out for being rude to Bobby. Like he doesn't make them apologize to Bobby or something like that. That would have been cool
Right,
to see. I was
right,
like,
right.
where were you, Par? Where the hell were you when like these guys are like
I think
ripping
Par
on him
was
or
just
something?
really hidden. The fact that, like, yeah, Par saw Bobby's image and then he had to leave. And also, by the way, was it uh who's the sorry, what's her name with the Hula of the Mangoes again?
Maybell.
Maybell, yes. I swear to God, she's got an obsession with mangoes. She even wants to talk up to Par and deliver it to her. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. You love
got my
mangoes.
mangoes.
You
You got
love
my
you love mangoes.
mangoes.
But I guess again, it is obsession. But then again, we also get the do the fruit shake part where we understand how she got into mangoes. That is her band name after all. I mean, that's her name after all. Okay, so what are your rate? How would you rate this episode, Bros in the Band?
I would honestly rate this an 8 out of 10. Definitely a really good Bobby episode. Um, like, and of course you see Bobby living the double life as Punk Bobby and Bobby Bobby at the same time. That part especially was hilarious to watch. I love how they continue Bobby and Par's friendship, and I do like how Bobby shows his insecurities. Like he really wants to impress Par's bandmates because he wants to join in the band. He wants to join in the band along with his BFF Par. Also, Zicky is the goat. Like honestly, like Zicky was the best part of the episode, just for the simple fact that he pretty much tells Bobby that who Bobby is cool enough. You know, you don't need a couple of two, bobos to make fun of you or tell you otherwise.
I say that it was not a bad episode. Maybe a better. I think there could have been better when it comes to Bobby in this episode. Yes, I understand now his dream is to become a part of the band, but he could do better in a band than these two. I mean, I love the dedication that Bobby had to actually wanting to be part of this band. Maybe because it was Par's band, maybe because his best friend was in this band. But I think out of all of this, Bobby didn't need to change his image. I mean, it's just too much to hassle for Bobby to actually change his image and actually become a punk rocker and just, try to make a havoc when it comes to the Mercado, for example. So I think it's a little bit too much for Bobby, but nonetheless, it was a fun Bobby episode, but kind of an episode for me. So I had to give it a 7 out of 10. Not the best Bobby episode that I've seen, but maybe we could probably see more. We'll see.
Yeah, true. And honestly, I think the reason why he wants to join that group band in particular is not just because it's Par, but also I think because it's the only band that he can find that in Great Lake City that is amongst his age.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we'll have another band episode before the season ends, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so let's actually move over to the next episode that also aired that day. It's called For the Record. Synopsis here says, worried he's not keeping with his cool friends, Samir tries to break a record for some street cred. So we begin the episode with Ronnie Ann and the crew hanging out at school. They would discuss accomplishments that they thought were awesome for Ronnie Ann, like stopping a purse thief, Sid staying awake for 3 days, Casey making a 10-foot dunk, Laird beating up a shark, and even just now with Nikki balancing 6 corn dogs on her nose. All are great, but what about Samir? Samir doesn't have anything to actually show that is actually incredible, unfortunately. What are your thoughts on Samir's predicament here?
Okay, like honestly, I'm just going to have to say this right now. I think I knew pretty much going in that all their stories. Now it could be debatable whether or not they're true, but I would say that some are much more far fetched than others. Especially Laird with the shark. Really, come on, no, 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 no.
Although that was real. That was real.
Yeah. Hey, hey, no, no spoilers. Remember, no spoilers. But yeah, that actually turned out to be real. Who knew? Anyway, now as for Samir's predicament, I do like what they're doing with the character, not just because it's a solid solo episode with Samir, because how many Samir episodes have we really seen? Zero. But also
Zero.
just the fact that it gives Samir depth. It gives Samir his own insecurities to show that like all his friends have their own cool stories, and Samir technically doesn't. So that's what gets him motivation to want to break the record.
I mean, the thing is that, he had nothing to show for, trying to be impressive while the rest of them had stories. So it made sense for Samir to just try to do something that could be impressive, like, say, for example, breaking a record. Just predicament for Samir is like, man, it kind of tells you, like, oh, my life is boring. What can I do to actually, like, hey, try to be impressive just like everybody else? I mean, Ronnie Ann stopping a purse thief, Sid not sleeping for 3 days, Casey making a 10-foot dunk even though he's a small guy. It's just all the stories that they are saying. It's more like, oh crap, I really hope that I want to do something just like them. So that's why he did this whole ruse in order for to break a record, in order for him to become like impressive just like his friends. And I understand that it's a little situation there. I'm like, I don't want to have a boring life like me. Like say for example, like in Samir's case, like if I'm Samir, I'll be like, I don't want to have a boring life. I want to have something a little bit more exciting, like something that I can actually show off to my friends. Say, hey, I've done this before. I'm an awesome person too.
Yeah, you want to
So
be exhilarating. You want to have like an exhilarating experience in some way
yeah,
or another.
it's some sort of big moment that you ever had that happened to you. But according to Samir, he never had it. So it's like, oh, sad face and all. But this also does tell you that we have a Samir episode, and like finally we have a Samir episode. We've had like what Rodian episodes, we had Laird episodes, we had Sid episodes, but never Samir. So it's like, yay! Finally, we gotta get a Samir episode. How are you feeling with Samir having his episode?
Oh man, let me tell you. First a Laird episode, then a Sid episode, now a Samir episode. I'll welcome it. I'll welcome it. Let's go. Bring in more and more and more. Come on. And let me tell you, if we don't get a Nikki or Casey, like especially if we don't get a Nikki focused episode, I am going to flip. No, not that kind of flip, but you know what I mean. Anyway, Samir is someone who needed his own spotlight in an episode. Considering, let's be honest, he doesn't have much of a role compared to the rest of the group.
He doesn't have much. I mean, all he is pretty much Ronnie Yan's friend. And then you get to see him skateboard and, do all this kind of stuff. But so we need some more emphasis on like who Samir is. And I just love the fact that we're actually heading to a secondary character that has his own episode. But then again, that's the trend that the Casagrandes have been doing. Have you seen the secondary characters that have been focused recently as of late? I mean, Maybell, Laird, for example. There's a lot of and Alexis, for example. See, we need more episodes just like that, and I love the fact that the direction of the Casagrandes is just going on with secondary characters, and it's awesome to actually see the fact that Samir is having an episode, which is good.
Yeah, we're all happy for the boy.
And I swear to God, I think this is like a 1 in 100 chance. But please have a Becky episode so she can actually redeem herself after what happened.
She sort of does here. She semi does, but we're going to touch upon that.
Yeah, we'll touch upon that later. But I'm saying, like, can we have like a lone Becky episode so she can redeem herself? Everybody's hating on her because of a Gossipy Girl. It's not all about Gossipy Girl, okay? All right. Anyways, let's go back to the episode. So Samir decides to try and make an accomplishment just like his friends. And who does he turn to for this? Well, out of all people, Becky. Yeah, the one bully that actually like was a bad person in Gossipy Girl. Yeah, surprisingly, Becky would agree to help Samir out, and they would go throughout the record books that Samir can try and break. Unfortunately, none of them worked out. How did you like Samir's chances at breaking a record? I mean, have you seen the records that he was trying to break, like the ants, like dodgeballs and all that jazz? I mean, how do you feel about Samir trying to break these records?
Oof. Oh, let me tell you. The amount of pain that Samir goes through. Samir tries to pull off getting pummeled with dodgeballs. He tries to pull off fiery ants. He even plays multiple instruments at the same time. And to top it off, he's being upside down while being tickled. Like, Samir does it all, and yet he doesn't seem to break any records. Now, I think that they do help serve the episode because, let's be honest, they help serve the story because they help serve it well because, let's be honest, Samir, this is something Samir wants. He desperately wants to break the record. And in order to break the record, sometimes you got to take the pain, no pain, no gain. So I do like how, like, Samir is dedicated to getting the record, and of course Becky is there to help coach him.
It's so weird to actually see Becky become the help of the Casagrandes. Actually become a help when it comes to Samir, because she was just a bully before. No, she's not. Now she's actually being helpful. Actually has tried to help Samir with the whole record breaking thing, which is pretty cool, and actually some sort of character building for Becky too. She's not a bully, guys. She's just a regular old secondary character. All right. Besides my rant on
regular old secondary character who needs her own episode.
Yes. I could continue emphasizing more about that. But back to Samir. I understand the desperation that comes to Samir when it comes to like trying to become impressive to his friends. So breaking a record is one thing that would be really impressive to see. And there are like a lot of records that Becky was looking through, like the dodgeball one, the fire ants one, and all that jazz. But this isn't Samir's like best qualities to say. So yeah, you get to see like all these scenes where like Samir starts to fail on all of them until he actually finds that one record that he was going to break, which we'll explain right now. Another thing I also want to emphasize: were you surprised to see Becky help Samir after what she's done recently?
Whoa, hang on. Becky actually helping someone?
I know. I am one
Becky,
of those. I am one of those people.
Becky actually being a help instead of a hindrance? Becky actually doing something other than throwing dodgeballs and publicly humiliating other classmates? Whoa, good on you, Becky. I'm impressed. Let me tell you.
I'm impressed. That just tells you very good character development for Becky. Stop hating on her.
Although pushing pushing multiple kids in the locker, yeah, that's a bit much.
Okay, that's a whatever. I don't know. It's okay. Again, Becky's bullying, but this is like more impressive that she actually helps Samir in this case. I don't know. It's like a what was that? A bipolar like feeling that I have when it comes to like, do I like her? Do I hate her? Yeah, I hate you for pushing kids into a locker, but I like you for actually, helping Samir out.
It's a love to hate relationship.
Yeah,
it's a love to hate
I hated that you actually like, threw dodgeballs at Samir before, like that one episode, throwing paints. But now you're actually helping him with dodgeballs in this one. I don't know. This is interesting. Also, continuity point: the fact that they actually mentioned the dodgeball team in this episode. All right. Let's go back to the episode here, because Samir and Becky would agree to go for a record that has both Samir's best skills, skateboarding and blowing bubblegum. So Samir would go for that record, and with the assistance of Becky, out of all people, Becky, he would avoid all kinds.
Is this a parallel universe? Like, is this like some sort of alternate dimension? I'm saying.
I don't know, because even when he was trying to break the record, Becky's helping him out. I'm like, oh, good on you, Becky.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Samir would go for that record with the assistance of Becky. He would avoid all kinds of obstacles that would ruin the record for him. It wasn't until some teacher had to make Samir sneeze and fall off the board to ruin his record. Oh my god! Literally, with only like 5 or 2 seconds left on the clock. What were your thoughts on Samir breaking the record?
Ooh, yeah, so close, yet so far. By the way, there's that feeling when the teacher is more of an antagonist than Becky. Go figure, right? The teacher is more Becky-like in this episode than Becky herself.
Out of all the people that would actually ruin the record, I thought it would be Becky, but no, it's actually some random teacher.
It's a random teacher. Yeah, she doesn't even look like a fun teacher. She looks like a grumpy old lady.
Yeah. I felt so bad for Samir in this breaking record part, because the thing is, like, he was only like a couple seconds away, and the other thing too is that he was trying to avoid everything. Like, he avoided like a fencing class in order for the record to continue to happen. He avoided like so much obstacles that it actually almost happened, and then got ruined because of that one teacher. I don't know. It just felt like it was kind of like, I don't know. Did you feel like it was kind of given, like, he will not make the record? If he made the record, then the episode would have ended. But no, he ended up actually like, failing when it comes to getting the record.
Yeah, Samir pretty much being the record would have been too good to be true.
Right. I mean, it would have already ended the episode that he already got the record, but yeah, but nonetheless, it just feels interesting how they kind of pulled the episode where it's like, oh, he ended he didn't get the record, guys. I'm sorry. But here's the other thing too about it. Samir would later tell his friends that he did this because it would give him something epic to tell his friends, although their records aren't that great to say. It seemed everyone exaggerated their stories in order to become epic, like Ronnie Ant's Ronnie Ant saving a purse, Sid actually dreaming the fact that he actually slept for 3 days, Casey not even getting a 10-foot dunk. It was literally off a plastic hoop. It wasn't all impressive, except for Laird, by the way. He actually did end up getting that story true, but nobody cared.
Exactly. It's like, how does that even... It's Laird. How's that story?
I think Laird is supposed to be the comedy relief in here. I don't know. It's just like, yeah, something sad is happening. So yeah, let's talk about Laird's epic accomplishment. No, because everybody else just exaggerated with their stories. So yeah, this gave Samir relief, but Becky would actually come in and say that Samir did break a record for the most failed attempts breaking a record. This gave a happy ending to Samir, and his friends cheered him on with it. Kind of felt like a gimme to me. What were your thoughts on this ending here?
Now, like I'm really glad that it gave like some sort of like bittersweet ending. That yeah, Samir didn't exactly break the record he wanted, but then comes you know then comes like a blessing in disguise where it turns out that there's actually a record for failing the most fails to break a record, and that's really cool. And I'm glad that it was like Becky who shared this news to him. Like Becky's been really helpful, I swear.
Hmm.
Although I yeah, honestly, um yeah, good on you, Sabir. Congratulations. Somewhat. You didn't exactly break the record you wanted, but you still got most fails attempts at breaking a record. So let me tell you, Guinness World Records is gonna have a word with you.
I think my thing about this ending is the fact that this is kind of like a cop out again, where it's like, oh, Samir, you still ended up winning a record. Oh, we ended up with a good ending at the end of the day. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe we should have not actually said that because heck, everybody else's story was not that epic. So it's like, why don't you just like end it that way and just say like, hey, we forgive you for trying your record, and we're sorry we're going to emphasize these stories for you. We're not gonna lie to you ever again.
Yeah, that would have been
Yeah, that would
much
have been a better ending.
that would have been because let me tell you, like everyone loses sometimes. Like everyone has a defeat in some way sometimes. So you just gotta learn to accept it, and then just
Yeah.
you just gotta learn to accept the defeat. Take the L, take the L, and just move on.
Yeah, which doesn't seem to be that way because Samir still ended up with a record. So I'm like, maybe it could have been a better ending that way if it went a different direction.
Definitely.
All right. All right. So, anything else you want to bring up from this episode?
Um. Once again, I really want to see Becky becoming an ally to the Ronnie Squad group. That'd be really cool. And also Becky episode. Becky
Yes,
episode.
I swear to God, Becky needs to redeem herself after what happened to that one episode. Please,
I
can we
mean,
have
she
more?
she
Look,
sort of redeems herself here. She sort of
look,
redeems
yeah,
herself
she sort
here.
of redeems herself here, but like I said, I swear to God, like, yeah, we need to have more emphasis on the secondary characters, which is what the Casagrandes have been doing. I mean, we saw that at the end of second season, going into third season. And if we're going to have this be the last season, then I don't know how the heck they're going to actually emphasize those secondary characters. Are we just going to have more about, let's say, for example, a Nikki episode or a Casey episode or a Becky episode?
Oh
Uh,
god, yeah. Imagine a Becky episode being a Loud House episode. Like
oh,
imagine that.
it's gonna be in season 7. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be in season 7 now that the Casagrandes is gonna be canceled, which I think is just absolutely stupid. No, this is not. This is about a episode review, guys. But yeah, I would say questionable ending. I think it would have been better if he ended up not getting the record, but instead he did. So it's just like he still won at the
Yeah.
end. I guess it felt really weird. Um, but the other thing, I think the only thing that surprised me in this episode, the fact that Becky actually helps, and I'm like, awesome, good for you, good character development, and the fact we also do have a Samir episode for the first time because we never have a Samir episode ever. You keep on focusing on Sid and Roddy Ann, but we never had actually and Laird because Laird did have an episode as well. So yes, thank you. Finally, we can get more emphasis on other secondary characters. So thank God we actually did have a Samir episode here. All
Thank
right.
God.
What's your rating on this episode?
I would rate this 7.5 out of 10. It's a pretty good Samir episodes, but not the strongest Ronnie and Squad episode I've seen. It's good that Samir got his focus, and it was quite exhilarating. It was quite fun to see Samir go through all these crazy stuff like dodgeballs, fiery ants, and multiple instruments, and and just the fact that Becky of all people helping him is quite a surprise. It's a pleasant surprise. But I think in terms of the ending, I'm kind of mixed about it. I mean, I'm glad Samir got his ending. But then on the
Happy
other
ending.
hand, though, like they could have ended with just Ronnie Ronnie Ann and the squad admitting to Samir that um, their stories were exaggerated, and so they hug, and then that's it. It's like it would have been stronger because, like I said, it would have been Samir learning to take the L.
It would be better if Samir actually learned with him taking the L, but instead it didn't happen, which means a happy ending for Samir. This is why it was kind of questionable about this episode. I mean, the episode was fine. We finally have that Samir episode. We finally have the emphasis on Becky, which finally makes her look like a really good character. But to say the least, it was not like the best Samir episode, but it's something that I can take. But I'm gonna give this also like a 7.5 out of 10. It's not bad of an episode, but could have been better. It could have been better.
Yeah, honestly, like there's also the fact that what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think it's also the fact that, like, are you sure there isn't anyone else in the world who hasn't, failed attempts to break world records as much as Samir? And also, how did they know? Who knows that Samir pretty much was trying to do all these things? Was there some like Guinness guy that's like going around researching or something like that? Seriously, how do they
It said
know?
it said it was Great Lake City's like best records or something. She got it off that book, so it's like it's not Guinness. It's more like Great Lake City's records. So it's like,
I
yeah.
see.
So it's off that. I love the fact that Becky found out like, oh, there's a bubble blowing skateboarding challenge that you should take. You should take. Oh, how coincidental! It's like, okay, so you're just trying to put the favor for Samir in this episode.
Yeah.
All right, so let's actually move on to the next episode that aired on was it January 28th. The first episode of that is 15 Candles, a quinceanera episode. Oh my god!
I like
Something
that.
obviously first signs come to mind is like 15 quinceanera, which is awesome. It just tells you like, oh my god, we have a quinceanera episode, which is like obviously a Mexican party sort of thing. Omid, how did you like the fact we're gonna have? Okay, so I didn't put this in the script, but Omid, how did you like the fact we have a quinceanera episode in this for this episode here?
Oh, I really love it. I do love the fact that once again we're getting a Mexican um, we're getting
Theme.
a Mexican culture. We're getting an episode that focuses on a particular element of Mexican culture. The previous two times we got it, or the two times I can think of, was of course my favorite Casagrandes episode, Croaked, which focused on the Day of the Dead and pretty much learned to cope and sort of like um, celebrate their deaths in a way, like in a way that respects the dead. And also there was a misstep where it was basically the Bal Folk Rio dance or something like that
Yeah,
that was introduced in the Casa Grandes episode, and now here it's Quinceanera, where it is pretty much the 15th birthday.
yeah, where a female and celebrates their 15th birthday, becoming a woman to say, which is beautiful. I mean, I've heard about the quinceanera episodes when it comes to previous shows before, but obviously you need to have one considering that we're talking about Mexican culture here, and I'm glad that they actually emphasized it over here in this one episode. So I can't wait. So now we know that we gotta have a quinceanera episode. Let's see how they portrayed it. So let's actually start off with the episode here. Synopsis says planning Ronnie Yan's quinceanera, Rosa decides to train Ronnie Yan for the next 3 years. Oh, wait, what? That's right. Ronnie Yan's only 12 and a half. Well, she's only 12 and a half, and now, well, actually 11 and a half. And she's about to get her quinceanera 3.5 years later. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So the episode begins where Rosa and Ronnie Yan would have a girls' day out. So what does Rosa do? She would treat Ronnie Ann out to a fancy restaurant and even have a glow up at Margarita Salon. But it was here where Rosa would reveal that this was all a part for her quinceanera. Ronnie Ann, on the other hand, is only 11 and a half years old, and understandably does not need this prep, especially when it's still many years away.
It is so
Nonetheless,
many
Rosa,
years away.
yeah, so many years away. I mean, nonetheless, Rosa plans to prep for this big party every Saturday for the next couple years, which displeases Ronnie Ann. When you first heard about this, Omid, how displeased were you with Rosa, and how concerning were you about Ronnie Ann pretty much taking all of her weekends away for a party that she will celebrate until 3.5 years later?
Okay, now at this point of the episode, I was thinking to myself, okay, Rosa, isn't that going to result in a very, and I mean very huge budget? I mean, you're talking 3.5 years of party planning every Saturday for 3.5 years. Let me tell you, like, that budget is going to be far bigger than your apartment ever was, just saying. Second, I felt that Rosa was way too overbearing here, like at this point. Like, I guess she wants to have this for her granddaughter, like her intentions are good, but I'm thinking to myself, lady, chill out.
I feel so bad for Ronnie Ann. I mean, the fact that every Saturday is just going to be all practice for a quinceañera that she can't celebrate for 3.5 years. And what did they do? I mean, the practice rituals that they do in a quinceañera, the first dance with the dad. There's just so much that happens in a quinceañera. But here's the thing: it's 3.5 years. Are you sure that it's just ready to be prepped right now? Like, get the dress ready right now, do all this and that, just to get a party that you're not going to set up for like a 3.5 years to happen. It's like, girl, it's like, Rosa, why? I mean, in this part, it's like, I think you're pretty really addicted to this whole quinceañera thing. We'll know about this later, but we'll know the reason why later. But I'm just like saying, from this point on, when I first saw this part of the episode, I'm like, I feel bad for Ronnie Ann. I'm like, girl, I still feel so bad that you have a grand abuela that's just continuing to become like a nuisance when it comes to your big day that's going to happen in a couple of years.
Also, I love seeing Ronnie Ann pretty much like what was I going to say? What was I going to say? I love seeing Ronnie Ann in the margarita salon, like pretty much getting her nails done and her hair done. It's like, whoo, Ronnie Ann is like, this is one of the few times where Ronnie Ann shows her, femininity, because like most of the time she shows off her tomboyism,
Mm-hmm.
like
Well, see,
into
yeah,
pro wrestling, skateboarding, and all that stuff. Like, it's
yeah.
nice to see Ronnie Ann really pull off the tomboy personality and her feminine personality.
I think the last time I saw that would be Misstep. Remember when she had that fancy dress on and doing the Boye Folklorio? Yeah.
That's true.
I feel like when it comes to like Mexican like culture episodes, they'll always have Ronnie Ann have that that style where she actually turns to be like more of the feminine side, which is pretty cute to see. Yeah, she's getting that glow up over at Margarita's place, yes, with her nails and that 15 hair that she ended up getting. But it's cute. It actually was pretty cute.
Yeah.
All right, so Ronnie Ann would tell Sid about the situation, which led to them trying to stop Rosa's quinceañera planning, only to be fixed up by Rosa herself. I mean, they tried to sabotage the tenants piping, but Rosa was able to fix that. Make Rosa work a tamale truck, but nonetheless, Rosa would still work on the quinceañera plans even while driving that tamale truck. And have Carl be Ernesto Estrella give a prediction to Rosa saying Saturday's a bad luck. What is going on here? I understand the fact that you're trying to stop Rosa from being like cynical and crazy when it comes to Saturdays planning Ronnie Ann's quinceañera, but I love the whole setup here of making these plans, just trying to stop Rosa from setting up anything on a Saturday. How did you feel? How did you feel about these things that Ronnie Ann was setting up?
First off, I'm just gonna say this. Who'd have thought that Lalo would be a dog version of Lana Loud? Like, apparently Lalo was a plumber himself. Isn't that weird? Like a dog becoming a plumber.
I feel like there has to be an episode where where Lalo and Lana actually do meet up and actually like fix pipes together. I don't know. They love to. I guess they love to be like plumbers now.
Yeah, like they would be quite a duo. Second off, it is pretty funny, like how much of an he's a really good actor. Carl is, like, let me tell you, he's the way he pulls off Ernesto. It's just so authentic. Like, even like Rosa falls for it. It's just really funny to watch how you see Carl, trying to pull off Ernesto, and like it's funny when Rosa asks Carl, "Why are you so short?" And it's like, wow, like Rosa's so fangirlism
that
over
yeah.
Ernesto that she doesn't even recognize that it's her own grandson in disguise. Is pretty funny. But then it all comes crashing down. Like, his entire performance comes crashing down when Lalo ruins everything.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Nonetheless, it was actually pretty funny just to see them trying to stop the plans and everything. I love how Ronnie Ann did the whole tamale truck thing, and then Ronnie Ann still was like riding with Rosa in the tamale truck. She goes, ah, like, she like, what? I mean, like, I thought the plan was actually going to work, where where Rosa was going to cancel like the quinceañera plans in order for Rosa to actually like do this whole tamale truck thing. But no, Ronnie had still had to join in. I'm like, oh my god. I love how it just all backfires, and I understand Rosa's like commitment to actually helping helping Ronnie Ann with this quinceanera. I get it. Like you're so dedicated to it that you're going to have it no matter what. Also, the comment about the what was it, Ernesto Estrella thing. It feels like the Casagrandes are pretty blatant when it comes to actually like seeing what is real and what is not. I mean, we already talked about this last week about last episode of Skaters Gotta Hate. Remember that where they thought that Carlos was Laird? So
Don't remind me.
so it's like Rosa looks at Carl and apparently is Ernesto Estrella. So it's like, I guess you guys are really blind. You guys don't really know what really is in your eyes. It's just
I'll give it this. Like it's not as bad as in Scare's Gonna Hate because for one thing, like we already know that Rosa is so much of a fangirl of Ernesto that I believe that she would actually be one to pretty much fall for that disguise because in a way her love for Ernesto is that strong. And second off, Carl, let me tell you, like Carl really does pull off Ernesto. Like Carl really does pull off he really does look like Ernesto as if he was short. Yeah. The thing with Carlos though, on the other hand, Jesse up there was that here's the thing, like it doesn't make any sense when you consider the fact that one, his skin tone is different from Laird's. Two, he's much taller than Laird. And three, hello, Ronnie Ann, that's your flippin' uncle, their freaking uncle. How do you fall for it so easily? I swear to God. And number four, please refer to what I said in the first 3 points.
It's just hilarious. I don't know. I just feel like the joke in the Casagrande is just like, oh, somebody is in disguise. We'll just make him look like they're in disguise. It kind of feels like a Scooby-Doo episode or something like that. All right. So this actually led Rosa to provide more dates for Ronnie Ann's quinceañera. She actually cancels her skateboard camp, which obviously pissed off Ronnie Ann. That pretty much was his final straw. I love the fact that like Rosa gave her more like a bigger binder for her to read, and I'm like, Rosa, please, that's enough for Ronnie Ann. She has suffered enough.
Seriously.
So Ronnie Ann was about to confront Rosa about this aggressive prepping, but she would be confronted by her mom, where she would say that Rosa was never given a quinceañera. Shocker. I didn't know about that.
What a
Rosa
twist,
actually,
right? The big twist.
Yeah, the big twist there. Rosa actually did the same thing to Maria with this aggressive prepping, so she advised Ronnie Ann to bear with it. But this gave an idea for Ronnie Ann. First off, I mean, so how did you like this part here? How did you feel knowing Rosa never had a quinceañera?
Oh my God, like I felt so bad for her. Like honestly, I like how Maria came to save the day by explaining to Ronnie Ann why Rosa shoved the quinceanera down Ronnie Ann's throat, because she did the same thing to Maria because she never had a quinceanera. So because Rosa didn't have a quinceanera of her own, she didn't want her descendants to miss out on the quinceanera either. So even though what Rosa did was sort of bonkers and out of sort of out of control, you could tell that it comes from a good place. It really comes from a place of, trying to give Ronnie Ann what Rosa never had, in a sense. That's why she did what she did in the episode.
I felt bad for Rosa. The fact that, like, out of all the people that celebrated quinceañera, you would expect Rosa to be the one to actually like have one, but no. Which was the shocking part to me when I heard about this. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't know Rosa actually never had a quinceañera, because look at everybody else who did. I mean, was it Maria had one? I'm pretty sure Carlota had one, and now you're gonna give it to Ronnie Ann.
Yeah, but the cake was dry though during Carlota's quinceanera.
Yeah, right,
Thanks,
right.
Frida.
So that makes sense. So that makes sense why Rosa wanted to make it so perfect. That's why she's using 3.5 years to actually make it perfect. So it makes her crazy. But at the same time, I get it. Like she wants to make it perfect, unlike the other quinceañeras that she ended up prepping. So it makes sense why Rosa, a person who never had a quinceañera, wanted to make sure a quinceañera goes perfectly for Ronnie Ann. Still, I would imagine the 3.5 years being so unbearable for anybody to prep. I would say like maybe a year would be okay, but not 3.5 years. I mean, the girl is still 11 and a half. I mean, she still
Exactly.
has.
3.5 years is also way too long, you know?
It's way too long for her. Yeah. Okay. So second, do you agree with the aggressive prepping that Rosa was given to her kids, knowing that she never had one? I mean, do you
Yeah.
like it that Rosa did that? I feel like no.
Like
I
I
feel like
said,
no.
while it was out of control, it did come from a good place, but then again, I felt that it was a bit too aggressive. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
the way like Rosa was harassing Ronnie Ann, all
Mhm.
that stuff, hassling Ronnie Ann. It was yeah, the intentions are good, but I feel that like her actions though became a bit too much.
I think it was a little too much for Ronnie Ann and plus everybody else that was also trained under Rosa. So like, you know, Carlota and Maria, for example, they ended up having to still bear with the fact that Rosa had this way. This is aggressive prepping here. Omid, you did put up a comment here about Sid and Ronnie Ann with the evil act. Can you explain more about that?
Oh my god, like I just love it. Like they become so deliciously evil. Oh my god, it is just so fun to watch. Where like basically you have Roddy Ann be like, "Oh Sid, you're so bad it's good," and then they rub their hands and then they go like, "Oh like oh my god, it is just like oh my god, they go evil mode and it's so deliciously evil. I just love it.
So that one part the only thing that kind of sucks is that Sid never really had a big emphasis when it comes to this episode. She just only appeared, but it's there to support Ronnie Ann, especially when it comes to her time of need. So it's like, yeah, cool, Sid's there, but not that big of an emphasis on her. It's more on Ronnie Ann trying to help Rosa and Rosa in this episode. So here's what Ronnie Ann actually planned out. Um, she would actually hold a belated quinceañera with the Casagrandes and Shanks as guests. Rosa would thank Ronnie Ann for the party that she never had, and the quinceañera would end with everybody celebrating everyone celebrating. How'd you like the festivities? How'd you like the whole festivities that was going on with the quinceañera?
Oh, I really love it. I love the fact how the party was set up. I love how big the atmosphere of the party was, and I do love the fact that like the Casagrandes and the Changs were there. Like the Changs were also there as a guest as well. So that was really fun. And also like the music, like DJ Carl is back,
Yeah,
and then also I love the fact that like Ronnie Ann did this really nice thing for Rosa because at the end of the day, um, like while it was mainly to sort of get Rosa off her back, there was another main reason, and that's the fact that it's due to the story that Maria told her. So Ronnie Ann felt pretty bad for Rosa, so she wants to
mhm.
give her the party that she's always wanted. So she got it, and so thus her quinceanera has been fulfilled, and also the fact that oh my god, just the speech that Ronnie Ann gives Rosa, and the Rosa thanking Ronnie Ann is just oh my god, that is so adorable.
That's
And
cute.
also Hector and Rosa dancing together, it's like man,
Yeah,
Hector
that
is
was
suave.
adorable.
Hector is
That was
suave.
adorable. Yeah, I thought that was adorable. I think everything from the whole festivities was absolutely cute. Like Rosa in that big pink dress, the whole shoe fitting, which is a quinceañera thing, dancing with the dancing with the dad. But of course, Rosa doesn't have her dad there, so she danced with Hector, which I thought was adorable. Um, and of course, just the fact the party was just absolutely wild. It looked like it was just a fun party to go to. Well, the
Definitely.
Casagrandes and the Changs were definitely partying. Um, but yeah, I mean, the ending definitely was, I think, bittersweet. The fact that Rosa ended up getting her quinceañera, and the fact that Rosa doesn't need to prep so hard for her quinceañera anymore. It just tells you like that hole in her heart that she never had a quinceañera was pretty much filled up, and that now that she could actually like be more relaxed when it comes to quinceañeras now. So it's like great, that's
Definitely.
awesome to see. Great, perfect ending, I think, to me. But yeah, well, but yeah, that's like I said, it was actually not bad to see. It was actually like a pretty good ending. I mean, anything else you want to bring up in this episode?
Okay, one thing I have to say, I think I gotta say, Maria in the
Oh,
dress.
come on, you. Oh, come
Muy
on, you.
caliente.
Come
My
on,
God,
you.
Maria looks so hot in that dress. Like, oh, it is just, mama, muy caliente, muy caliente.
This is 18. This is not supposed to be for 18 up. What are you doing, sir?
Like, oh my God. Yeah, I gotta say she looks so fine.
Oh,
And also another thing,
but
though,
she
is
only wore a pink dress. That was it.
yeah, but it was a fun pink
Okay,
dress. It's like,
okay.
Oh, and
You can
also,
take your sipping mind out of this now.
and also Ronnie Ann dancing, next to Sid. Oh my God, it is a treasure. That image right there is like a perfect treasure in and of itself. Ronnie Ann dancing next to Sid.
Nonetheless, it just feels like everybody was having a fun time. Look, everybody, I feel like this needs to be also emphasized too. Um, Different outfits for every occasion. Like you get to see Ronnie Ann and like you get to see Ronnie Ann in her hoodie and everything. But the thing is that you also get to see Ronnie Ann in a lot of other dresses. Like that dress that she wore in 15 Candles is it's different than the one that she wore in for example, Emergency. So I like to see more of like all of these characters in different like fashion wear, which would be pretty awesome to see. If they could do that, that'd be awesome. Like, oh, what's the next party that Ronnie Ann is gonna go to? What's the next party that Sid's gonna go to? Please let them be like fashionable like that, and it'd be awesome just to see them in like different outfits and all that jazz.
Definitely like wear them on occasion, like wear them for like, I don't know, Ronnie Ann's birthday. Like imagine like an episode where we get Ronnie Ann's birthday, but then it ends up being like at one of those parties where it's like they dress up in dresses and stuff like that. I kind of want to see what Ronnie Ann's birthday outfit looks like.
Ooh, that'd be pretty cute, actually. Well, we'll see. We'll see if she ever actually celebrates a birthday. We never actually have a birthday episode, but we have a Lincoln episode. We have a Lincoln birthday episode coming up.
Ooh, Ronnie Ann, be there.
Oh my God! Ooh.
Ronnie Ann is number one on Lincoln's
Ronnie Ann will be the guest
list.
star. Ronnie Ann will be the guest star in that episode.
Yes. And
Is it the one episode we're finally getting to see Ronnie Ann in Royal Woods?
Yeah, let me tell you, like Ronnie Ann's birthday gift to Lincoln. Let me tell you, it's gonna be a smooch and not a band smooch. Let me tell you.
I don't know if it's gonna happen, but the thing is, like, according to what the synopsis and the birthday one is, it's supposed to be like somebody stole his toy, and Eddie goes David Steele on this. So
Ronnie Ann stole the toy to get Lincoln's attention.
Oh my God,
Ronnie.
All right, so before we get to our next episode, well, how did you rate 15 Candles?
I would rate this an 8.5 out of 10. Like it pays very good respect to the quinceanera element of the quinceanera holiday of the Mexican traditional culture. It might end up being my least favorite episode that focuses on a particular element of the Mexican culture because of how obnoxious Rosa was. But then again, you do see where she's coming from, why she would do this. But then again, it got a bit too much at times.
I say that this was actually not bad of an episode. Yes, we get to see Rosa being obsessed when it comes to quinceañeras, but you also get to understand why she ended up actually being obsessed because she never had one. I just love the comedy that also comes with this episode, like the funny parts, especially when they try to stop Rosa from making all these plans.
Oh God,
and
I loved it.
And the ending was beautiful too. Just
the ending was sweet.
the ending was absolutely sweet. For Ronnie Ann to actually give a quinceañera to Rosa, and it's like that's beautiful, and everything from the whole ending itself was just absolutely beautiful. So, definitely a pretty sweet episode. I gotta give this one a 9 out of 10. It definitely is adorable, and yeah, definitely a great episode for a quinceañera. Hope we get another one of these quinceañera episodes. Maybe if we actually had more seasons of the Casagrandes, we could have actually had a legit quinceañera episode where Ronnie Ann actually had one.
Hashtag renew the Casagrandes. Hashtag renew the Casagrandes.
Save the Casagrandes. I don't know if it will. Nickelodeon, you just made a big mistake, sir.
You bobos.
Yeah, they are bobos. It's not all about
bobos.
It's not all about SpongeBob, you bobos.
Forget the Sponge Bobo for a minute. Focus on us.
The bobos. All right. Let's go to the final episode that also aired on the 28th of January. It's called Rook, Line, and Sinker. Carlos gets Carl into chess to keep him out of trouble, but Carl takes his rule of the kingdom literally. So this isn't a surprise. Another Carl episode. The Carl got in trouble, but yet again he did enough to get Prince of Valenzuela into action. So Carlos and Frida will try to make Carl better after this predicament. Are you surprised? Yet again, we have another Carl episode.
Here we go again. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we've got the 100th Carl episode thrown at us because, hey, Carl is the protagonist of the show. Apparently, according to the episode lineup, right? No, he isn't.
I'm not really happy. A fact that I think, like, look, there's a lot of Carl episodes that happened in season 2. Season 3 looked promising with the fact that we actually had secondary characters have their episodes. But then you also have Carl along too, so it's like, fine. We'll deal with another Carl episode where he gets all greedy. At least there's some Carl episodes where he actually was like nice. Like, say for example, the previous episode we talked about,
Born to be Mild. It's still Pete Carl. Born to be Mild.
Yeah, that's a better Carl episode. And the other thing too is that there's other Carl episodes like Do the Fruit Shake where he actually like helps the tropical fruits actually become a group again. You know, things like that. Those episodes I would love about Carl. But then questionable episodes about Carl, like this one, for example, is like, oh man, more selfish Carl. Are we gonna see more of this again? I'm like,
it's not just the fact that selfish. It's not just the fact that Carl is selfish. It's just the fact that like selfish Carl plots have been repeating the same formula. You know what I mean? Whereas with this episode, Rook, Line, and Seeker, they actually managed to do something different with Carl's selfish behavior. They actually managed to put a creative spin on it. And that's why I really like this episode. It's one of Carl's better episodes for sure.
All right, so what is the surprise that he would get in trouble? How are you liking this episode starting so far? I mean, this is just normal Carl. This is a normal Carl, like, being in trouble all the time.
Honestly, anyone who knows Carl wouldn't be surprised by this in the slightest. No. They wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you don't know about Carl, then there you go. He's a troublemaker. Come on, he's just a little kid. He's a little kid who just loves to get.
It's like you got the one guy that watches this one episode, and then they're like, wait, Carl's a trouble? Like Carl really did do that? And then I just tell them, welcome to Casagrandes. Must be your first time, buddy.
I mean, if one thing, let's say, for example, one person actually watches, what's that one episode, Born to be Mild first, and you thought Carl was actually a really nice person. No, you just watched this episode, and then now you see Carl just in his natural environment where he's always a troublemaker.
Pretty much.
Anyway. All right. Nonetheless, we have another Carl episode, guys. So how does this fare out? Well, let's continue on as we analyze this episode more. Carlos would try to attempt to give Carl a new hobby to try out. He would try a couple of things like ant farms and another thing to no avail. It wasn't until Carlos introduces Carl to chess that got him interested, and soon he would become a chess master, which impressed both his parents. How'd you like Carl liking this hobby of chess now?
Honestly, I think chess is perfect for Carl. For a trickster like him, chess would even be a sport. It is a sport for the mind, after all.
So it's great for Carl to actually, get into chess, but it's surprising. Like, out of all the things that he would get into, like RC cars or something like a teenage boy would get into, like action figures or a brand new hero or race cars, like what happened in Battles of the Cart, he ended up with chess. And I'm like, interesting little take you had there, Casagrandes crew. He would actually know chess.
Yeah, because when you do think about it, like Carl, we know Carl as like the trickster. We know Carl as the schemer, as the mastermind. Chess pretty much embodies like all these personalities. Like chess is pretty much the game for tricksters, schemers, and master manipulators. So honestly, like Carl and chess go hand to hand. They go together. So I think that like it's no surprise that Carl will really dig chess because it helps him pretty much use his strategies, his cheating ways, his scheming ways to win the games.
Yeah, exactly. I just felt like it was actually nice for him because it just tells you like how you can be able to take care of this person or that person in chess. So you get to see like how he has this chess mind now. Apparently, this chess mind actually becomes a big thing over in the episode. I'll explain about this right now, because this leads Carl to become a better person. Okay, so what's great about Carl learning chess is that it actually made him a better person and becoming less of a troublesome person at school. About that.
Yeah,
It
no.
turned out that he can use his chess knowledge to trick people out of things, as he has done with getting the last churro and not going to bed when the rest of the kids are. This chess mode would definitely be something out of hand, as he would spread it to the school. That would lead Principal Valenzuela to become home under Valenzuela. How did that happen? Explain your thoughts on what happened. Well, how Carl became a manipulative little prick now.
Okay, so this is where Carl turns into Lelouch. Like Carl goes Lelouch mode on this episode. Nate, you know what I'm talking about.
I know.
Seriously, just as we thought Carl's chess hobby is a blessing, it then turns into a curse where it becomes a hindrance to others rather than a help, more than so than a help to himself. Well, okay, let me just say this. Like, yeah, it's still a help to himself, but then as time goes by, it becomes more and more of a hindrance to others.
I thought that was just really interesting. The fact that you can actually like use chess as a way to actually like manipulate people into getting what you want. Like, say for example, let's say for example, Carl's the king, and then you use the siblings as pawn pieces, like a pawn or a rook or a you know or a knight, for example. And I'm like, what? So technically Carl's the king and the pawns are pretty much everybody. And so he pretty much like did all of this to make it work. And I'm like, how does that happen? How does logic actually work?
Exactly.
Carl never actually, well, he explains it when he goes to chess mode, but then like trying to convince everybody else to become like, say for example, for Principal Valenzuela, for example, when she became home monitor Valenzuela. I'm like, wait, how did that happen? Like, how did Carl become the principal out of all places? Like, how did this manipulation actually end up working?
Yeah, Principal
uh,
Carl. Imagine that. Like a school run by Carl Casagrande. Watch, you're gonna see all these students like, graduate with a, like Carl school diploma with a like major in, tricking and scheming.
I don't know. It felt really interesting, and now it just tells me like how chess can be dangerous. I thought chess was a fun game, not a dangerous game. So as you watch this, did you okay? So as you watched this, when you first saw Carl learning chess, did you know that this was going to happen at first, or was this given knowing how you know Carl right now?
Again, anyone who has seen the series, anyone who really knows Carl as a character, knows this is exactly how it's going to turn out. He's going to turn out to love chess. He's going to turn out to use it for the wrong reasons. And it turns out that Carlos and Frida are going to regret it heavily. And so, well, we're going to touch upon that soon. But yeah, needless to say, it's Carl Casagrande we're talking about. This is something that isn't the least bit surprising, knowing that Carl would actually do something like this.
I thought this was just more of Carl actually like turning the tide after learning chess, but no, he turned out to learn chess for the wrong reasons, and I'm like, okay, this is the usual Carl we end up understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. Okay, to say the least, we'll never expect to see change from Carl. He'll always be a manipulative person, but then again, he's just a kid, so so the Casagrandes have a problem, and that Carlos needs to beat Carl at his own game. Well, this would lead for problems with Carl, knowing that CJ stores in bed, for one, which led Carl to request his own room, which Frida refused. So what happens is that he uses his chess mode option to get Bobby to sleep at the Mercado and let CJ have Bobby's room. All would work out until Frida took the room for her new art studio. So where would Carl sleep? Apparently in Lalo's doghouse on the roof. Ooh. Okay, so the tables have turned to say. That's a lot of moving around because of this chess mode. But how did you like the situation where Carl's plan backfired on him?
Yeah, Carl's not such a good boy, is he? Anyway, I love how Carlos and Frida turned the tables around Carl. They know their son so much, like they really do know him by heart, obviously because he's their son. That
Mhm.
they decide to steal Carl's own strategy and use it against him in order to give him a taste of his own medicine. And let me tell you, it is absolutely satisfying. And also the way that pretty much like how Frida and Carlos were using like people like CJ and all that stuff like as their own pawns. It's like it's pretty satisfying to watch. Pretty much them fight fire with fire in a sense, if you know what I mean. And it turns out that Carlos defeated, and that's when Carlos and Frida go checkmate.
So I love the fact that like Carl's actually was very strategic. I mean, CJ snoring already just gives a big red flag to Carl. I love the fact that he still even uses the chess mode saying like, hey, I'm gonna manipulate everybody to just change rooms. Like have Bobby sleep in the Mercado while CJ sleeps in Bobby's room and Carl has his own room. And the fact that the end up actually putting the pawn as the ruler of that one room, aka Frida, taking care of the room, just just dominates everything because it's like, hey, I'm the parent here. I choose to have this room to myself. So where's Carl gonna sleep? Oh, why don't you just take the room, the room up in Lalo's bedroom, which I thought was brilliant. I just the maneuvering was kind of confusing, but at the end it was just more of like, oh yeah, this is what things do in chess. This is what happens in chess, where you just manipulate people to just move into certain areas, which I thought was like, okay, awesome. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely.
So as the rain falls down, Carl would plead with his parents to not make him sleep on the roof, in which his parents gave him a checkmate to Carl. Having a taste of his own medicine, Carl promises to stop the trickery and to make sure chess is for fun, not for manipulation. How would you like this whole ending here?
Like I said, I love how Carl gets a taste of his own medicine. I do like how Carl finally learns a lesson to stop tricking people, and also um, use chess for fun. And honestly, it sort of opens doors to Carl as a chess player. Like have him it with more interests other than El Falcone and DJing. Like add chess playing into the mix because honestly, Carl will make a damn good chess player because he has the mindset. He has a strategic and scheming mindset to really be a chess champion. Pretty much like give Carl have more episodes with Carl as a chess player. I like to see that.
I like to see that as well. You know what? If anything, they can actually like continue with the continuity. Actually have like a scene where like Carl actually plays more chess and actually like plays for fun. Maybe it's like see Alexis and Carl play chess. That'd be pretty fun to see.
Yeah,
Um,
like Bobby would like Carl would be the next Bobby Fischer, but Carl would be the next Bobby Fischer.
I mean, that would be a pretty fun thing to see. Now the other thing too is that Bobby would still end up being asleep in the Mercado. That's pretty much his bed now. Did you like this idea where Bobby would pretty much be sleeping in the Mercado?
Yeah, that was pretty funny to me. Not just because the fact that it's Bobby being the simple Bobby, but also the fact that this joke works because for a fact that Bobby loves the Mercado so much he would actually be willing to sleep in it. And let me tell you, like that would make for one hell of an episode. Just Bobby having a sleepover in the Mercado. I'd love to see an episode where Bobby has a Mercado sleepover and invites Par and maybe just maybe his punk friends over. It will make for a hell of a fun episode.
Actually, the fact that they can actually sleep over at the Mercado can be one thing. Now you gave me an idea of where, like, yeah, that would be a pretty cool episode if they actually make it, where Bobby and Par ended up like having a having a sleepover at the Mercado. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe bring those bandmates that he ended up getting in the bros in the band. Oh no, that could be no, that could make a ruckus over at the Mercado.
Yeah,
Although
no,
pretty,
I don't think Bobby would invite them because of that.
yeah, the punk attitudes and all. No, nonetheless, I mean that gives out a pretty cool idea. But it feels like at the end of the day, Bobby is gonna go back into that room and pretty much that's his bedroom. There's no one sleeping in the Mercado if it actually stood. All right. Anything else you want to bring up from this episode?
Yes, I love Carl's. I love the animation, the colorful animation that's done in Carl's schemes. Like whenever Carl goes into chess mode, you see all these like vibrant colors, and you see the colors on like you know blue and red. Well, actually, red and yellow or green. I think
I think it's
some of the
purple. I think
color
it's purple and green.
purple and green, and also red. Like I saw red on Frida and Carlos and Carlota.
Mm.
I love seeing all these different vibrant colors coming together to make for some really unique and really great colorful animation schemes. Let me tell you, like the animators really did pull it off. So major shout out to the storyboard artists for incorporating this kind of color scheme into Carl's chess mode scenes.
I think the chess mode scenes kind of remind me of Cursed, the whole psychedelic little scenes where all the characters are in different colors. It kind of feels
Yeah,
that way when you saw it in Rook, Light, and Sinker.
I really love that. I think Zoom Emergency did that too.
Oh, right, because of Sid and her dream. Say, for example, when she was like
Yeah.
talking to Yun Kwan.
So it's not just the Casagrandes, it's also the Changs
I feel
that
like
take
it's
part in this
just.
as
I feel like
well.
it's more of like if you're in a dream sequence, you get all these colorful colors that pop up in the Casagrandes. It's like all cute and
Yeah.
all.
It's like if you're a Casagrandes, like you only get a colorful dream scheme if you're a Casagrandes character. So sorry, Loud House characters, except for Lincoln. Lincoln technically wasn't the Casagrandes, so he would count.
Right. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much it for our talk about the episode. How would you rate Rook, Line, and Sinker actually?
I would also rate this I would rate this a 8.5 out of 10. It was definitely one of the better Carl episodes um, because of the fact that it doesn't go the typical, Carl Casagrande plot line that you see in often in season 2 episodes. No, this one takes Selfish Carl to a whole new spin. Like it really does put a new spin on Carl's egotistical, selfish, and scheming side, where they incorporated chess and they incorporate Carl really getting into chess and then turning out to use it rather than as just a game, use it like as a weapon against others, like sort of a way to, sort of a mind weapon against them. And it's pretty fun to watch. It's pretty fun to watch like Carl go into chess mode, especially with the Carl animation. Oh, and
Mhm.
also well played, Carlos Afrida. Well played.
Oh, I thought this was absolutely just smart from everybody here. Oh yeah, Carl using chess to manipulate people, and then Frida and Carlos also using chess to also like try to manipulate their son. I thought that was actually pretty clever of like how they try to use chess and try to make it into a real life situation where you can have like a kid try to manipulate people and just try to mess up life for everybody. I
Yeah.
thought it was just a clever episode. Definitely one of the better Carl episodes. But it was all like I said, very exciting. Not really the one of the best, but like I said, pretty exciting Carl episode. So I give it an 8 out of 10. No doubt. Pretty like I said, pretty good, but not the best. If I were to say it otherwise, either way, it just gives you a good aspect like who Carl is. You know, and compared to like the other Carl episodes that we've seen before, this is something that it's like a little bit on the better direction on how Carl should be manipulative and all.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right, well, that's pretty much it for our episode reviews of the Loud Casa Talks. That's a review of the latest Casagrandes episodes. Just a reminder for everybody out there that you can listen to our Loud Casa Talks wherever you listen to podcasts from Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to the podcasts. Our Loud Casa Talks podcast available for you to listen to there. Also, since you are watching it on our YouTube, please click the red button to subscribe to our YouTube, and also click the bell to be notified when we're going to be live next. I do want to let you guys know that the next Thursday we'll have a brand new episode of the Loud Casa Talks episode reviews, where we're going to review the next upcoming episode, the latest episodes of the Casagrandes. The episodes that we're going to be talking about will be Let's Get Ready to Rumba, Pero Malo, Don't Do That, and Maxed Out. Those are the episodes we're going to be reviewing next week. I think everybody's going to be talking about Don't Do That.
Yeah. And for obvious reasons too.
And
Obvious reasons
it's kind of
too.
like when you see that episode, it kind of feels like, oh, they're barely making a family. Oh, how cute.
Yeah. Yeah. When they fight, they pretty much fight like a married couple.
So dumb. But yeah, Let's Get Ready to Rumba, Paramalo, Don't Do That, Maxed Out. Those are going to be the episodes that we're going to be reviewing next week. I do want to put a standpoint for Paramalo. More Becky. Yay.
Yeah.
Yay, more Becky. And then also we also will have a big announcement this Sunday. We have a brand new Loud Casa Talks episode. So we're back live on Sunday to give you all a brand new Loud Casa Talks. We're supposed to do this back at the end of December, but we were all very busy. But we're going to do our best of 2021 on the 20th of February. We're going to be talking about the best Loud House episodes, the best Casagrandes episodes that aired on 2021. Also talk about the Loud House, explain more about the Loud House movie, how excited we were back then when we watched the movie, and also talk about the Loud House Christmas movie as well. All the best moments that happened in 2021 when it relates to the Loud House and the Casagrandes. We'll be discussing it all in the Loud Casa Talks this upcoming Sunday. So mark your calendars, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a best of 2021 show about Loud House and the Casagrandes.
Yeah, definitely look forward to that, where we talk about pretty much the highlights of 2021 in terms of Loud Casa. So yeah, I've been very hyped. This has been like a month or two in the making, and yeah, I've got a lot to say about 2021, because 2021 was a year full. It was an eventful year for the Loud House for reasons we're going to go into.
Oh yeah, and like I said, there's like a lot of good Loud House episodes, a lot of good Casagrandes episodes. So we're just gonna break down most of them. I think a lot of people would be discussing about, say, for example, Utter Mess. That was a good one.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
it
yeah,
wasn't an utter mess at all. It was actually pretty good. It wasn't
yeah,
an utter mess at all. The
yeah.
title is so misleading. The title is so
Yeah, see,
misleading.
exactly. So we have a lot to discuss when it comes to like the best moments in the Casagrandes Loud House, and of course, you want to bring back the Loud House movie just because of all the hype that it actually brought us, and just
Yes.
everything in between, just what happened in
Yes.
2021. To say the least,
I'm,
would you say it was much better than 2020?
oh yeah, like as a year overall, let me tell you, like 2021 way better than 2020. Like not just loud cost wise, but also, well, of course, real world wise too, especially.
Right. We'll just talk about that too, also in our next La Casa Talks. Anyways, that's pretty much it for us here. Thank you for watching our episode reviews. We'll see you guys back here on this YouTube channel this Sunday for our best of 2021 Loud Casa Talks episode, and next Thursday for our episode reviews. But until then, my name is Nate.
And this is Omid saying thank you all so much for watching. Yeah, thank you all so much for your support. You guys are awesome. Until next time, smell you later, amigos.